My name is Monica Suddeth, and I'm the Regional Development Director with UNCF San Francisco. So it is a pleasure to bring the National UNCF Empower Me Tour to Oakland's Laney College. Give it a round of applause. We have a very full and exciting day for you. I hope that you are as excited about hearing from our experts, and we have a host of celebrities here. And as you are VIPs, we thank you for getting up this morning, and hopefully you'll be able to hear some information that will be useful to you. It is now my pleasure. We could not do this without partners, and it's important for you to know who is supporting UNCF and for us to support them in return. They are a great national partner. They are local, they're headquartered here, and I'm sure all of us at one time or another has seen or have accounts with Wells Fargo. So at this time, I'd like to bring up the East Bay Regional President for Wells Fargo. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mickey Randhawa.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So before I start, let me just tell you what I'm going to share with you guys. First, I'm going to talk a little about our role as a company, talk about what the work we do in the community, talk about our partnership with the UNCF, and then lastly, share a personal story with all of you about my career. So let me start first with introducing myself. As you heard, my name is Mickey Randhawa. I'm the president of Wells Fargo for the East Bay. And it's an honor to be spending this morning with all of you. We're proud to be the founder and the presenting sponsor of the Empower Me Tour. This is the 7th tour that Wells Fargo has sponsored. And in particularly, the last 3 years, we have not only sponsored, but we have also contributed $1 million every year, but a total of $3 million to the UNCF to fund scholarships, the Empower Me Tour, and an Evening of Stars. At Wells Fargo, we truly believe that in order for us to be successful, our communities have to thrive. And if our communities thrive, our communities are successful, so we achieve success together. In fact, to demonstrate our commitment to the community and ensuring students get into college and graduate from college, I would like to ask the Executive Director of East Oakland Youth Development Center, Regina Jackson, to come up on stage. And Regina, on behalf of Wells Fargo, I would like to present this check for $50,000 to support Pathways to College and the Career Program.
Wells Fargo has been an extraordinary supporter of EOYDC and educational programs, not just Bay Area-wide, but throughout the state of California. East Oakland Youth Development Center's Pathway to College sends almost 20% of our young people to HBCUs every year, and they graduate, and they go to grad school, and they come back. So we want to thank you for supporting our legacy and investing in our young people. Thank you very much.
Regina, we'll get the real check out to you Monday, I promise. So this is just one example of the many nonprofits we support in Oakland. And I just want to add, it's not just the dollar contributions that we put in with the East Oakland Youth Development Center and the other nonprofits, it's also the human capital. You know, we actively participate. I clearly recall having multiple meetings at the East Oakland Youth Development Center with my leadership team, as well as community meetings, also serving food to the kids one afternoon. So if you haven't been there, I would highly urge you to go check it out and see what the great work that as everyone in that, in East Oakland Development Youth Center represents as Ms. Jackson does. So thank you. At this moment, I would also like to take a moment and really talk about the organizations like EOYDC and the UNCF, what they do. And they really help students get into colleges and graduate from colleges. And this work that we do in the community is supported by so many people. I would also like to recognize Agnes Obalde, Community Development Officer and Chair of the Oakland Workforce Investment Board. She works very closely with a lot of people when it comes to the nonprofit world. Also, Denise Miles, where are you? Denise Miles. Empower Me Tour at Wells Fargo would not be Empower Me Tour without you. Thank you for your leadership. An unsung hero that just sits quietly and comes and goes at every event, Mr. Randy Chan, right? He writes the actual checks, the one that Ms. Jackson's going to be getting. So we are proud of our relationship with UNCF and excited that the tour is stopping in Oakland, the 8th and the final stop of this school year. What I personally love about the Empower Me Tour is what it brings to both to students, education and diversity. And two key components that Wells Fargo's vision and values we really believe in. On UNCF's website, as you heard earlier from Monica, you will find 400 scholarship programs to college and universities all over the country. And you don't have to be African American to apply for it. It's available to all ethnicities. I really urge you to get on that website and check it out. Our hope is that for all students to have access to higher education. All students, regardless of their socioeconomic status, their race, their nationality, or their family background. As I said earlier, I do also want to share a personal story. So let me kind of give you a little bit background on myself. My family, my father in 1976 moved to the US from India. A year later, along with my mom and my younger brother, who was 5 years old and I was 9 at the time, in 1977, moved to the US. I spoke less than 5 words of English. And they were primarily, thank you and you're welcome. And I'm not even sure I used them at the right time. Right? But I used them. I spoke very little English, started 6th grade in the US, 7 years later, graduated from high school with honors, and I could have used the Empower Me Tour when I started college. I could have used a day like today when I started college, but it wasn't there. But I made my own Empower Me Tour. I connected with friends, family, and whoever I could to find out what I needed to do to get to the next level. The Empower Me Tour like this today could have really helped me and my family back then. So today, I ask all of you to take advantage of everything that is being offered to you. Simple as educating yourself, applying for one of those 400 scholarships, taking advantage of the mock interviews that Wells Fargo is doing today. Simply put, take control of your destiny today. Thank you, and have a great day. Monica, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Malika Chambers, and I am going to be the moderator for this panel today. Oakland is very close to my heart. I was a high school teacher at Oakland High for 13 years. So is Oakland High in the house? No Oakland? No Oakland High? All right. I started teaching high school at 19 after graduating from UC Berkeley. I attended Spelman College for a year. I have 2 master's degrees and a doctorate. I was a professor at California State University East Bay, and now I work in corporate America at PG&E. How many people in here have PG&E? All our customers, yay, PG&E. All right, so enough about me. I want to introduce these beautiful people that are here to talk to us today. The purpose of this panel is the college completion panel. And it's really about what to do after college. We heard a lot today about the importance of education and the potential that you all have as future superstars. But what we want to do right now is talk about, so I finished college, now what? Or I'm ready to make a contribution to the world, what do I do? And so to help us think about that, we have some people here that I'm going to introduce briefly. We have first on the panel, Ms. Joyful Drake. Can we clap and welcome Ms. Joyful Drake? She is a dancer, an actress, a screenwriter, and founder of the Dream Big Foundation. You may know Miss Drake. After graduating from the University of Wisconsin, she starred as Tasha Woodson in one of my favorite TV shows, Let's Stay Together, on BET. She's also been in several films, Get Her to the Greek, Beauty Shop with Queen Latifah, Fat Girls, and has starred in television episodes of Soul Food, One-on-One, Cuts, The Gang, The Exes, and she has many more. Actually, she has 2 upcoming film roles coming out too as well, I noticed. All right, my next guest is Mr. Ty Moore. Can we welcome Mr. Moore? Mr. Moore is a graduate of Harvard University and co-founder of Mind Blown Labs. That's a cutting-edge technology startup that utilizes gamification. Can we say gamification? Gamification to teach young people and adults how to manage their money. He is also founder of another foundation called the Hidden Genius Project that teaches young African American men how to code or write computer code. He is the executive director of another nonprofit, Leadership Scholars, a leadership and development mentoring program for at-risk youth in Cincinnati, Ohio. You used to do that. Well, count it. You did it. All right. We also have Captain Jessica Shearer. Can we welcome Ms. Shearer? Captain Shearer was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps, so we see some of her colleagues here today. She also was assigned to Combat Logistics Regiment 17, 1st Marine Logistics Division Group. There she completed a tour as a data platoon commander with communications company in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. She's currently serving as the S6 communication officer in charge for the 4th Medical Battalion. She has already received the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, as well as the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal. We thank you for your service, Captain Shearer. Next up, we have Dr. Lois Moore. Let's welcome Dr. Moore. Dr. Moore is Vice President of the Gates Millennium Scholar Alumni Association. She is an adjunct professor at the University of San Francisco and spends much of her time editing and writing. She is the field editor for the Edwin Millen Press and a book reviewer for the Journal of African American History. She is also very involved in community service, and so we want to welcome Dr. Moore. Thank you. Our next panelist is Mr. Darren Henson. Let's welcome Mr. Henson. Mr. Henson is an actor, choreographer, dancer, director. He has an instructional dance video that I've seen personally. It's very good. I can't complete it yet. And we may know him from his portrayal of Lynn Van Adams on the Soul Food movie, cable television series. And he has also starred in television productions of the movie Double Platinum. He was the director of Violation in 2003. He has been in Stomp the Yard and he's most known for his music video choreography and those that he's produced for artists such as New Kids on the Block, Jordan Knight, Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, and NSYNC. So let's welcome Mr. Henson. Okay, I'm gonna sit because my shoe game is tight. All right, so I'm gonna start by asking our guests today some panel questions, and I'll direct them to the questions. We'll have a little bit of time at the end for questions from the audience, so think of a question you would like to ask our panelists, and we'll have time for probably 1 or 2, okay? So my first question to the panel, and I'm gonna ask this to Mr. Moore first. We often hear that it's not what you know, but who you know when you think about that. Is that true, and why?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So I think for sure there's definitely a a great benefit to knowing good folks, but I think that you have to definitely have some basic skills. One of the, I think, most critical skills is the ability to communicate effectively with people, both in written form, but also verbally, right? Being able to present well, for instance, will definitely get you a long way in life. But the biggest thing, even when we're hiring at my startup, for instance, is really just assessing folks' ability to communicate with others, to work well with others, and then also just to what we like to say, kill it, right? So that means that they go above and beyond whatever they're doing. They're not waiting for somebody to say, hey, I need you to do this. They take that initiative, they're extremely proactive, et cetera. But yes, outside of the actual functional positions, it definitely helps to know folks, right? So, and the types of people you want to know are the types of people who are motivated, who are pushing, who are taking it to the next level all the time. So yeah, for instance, even with this startup that we did, or that I'm currently doing, we've had to raise a lot of money, like $600,000, right? And a lot of that is, I mean, you know, I can't go to Pookie and ask Pookie to give me $25,000, right? So, I mean, you definitely have to have some networks. You have to know some people with juice, and who also, you know, believe in you, but yeah, have some you know, some means. So, absolutely, knowing people is definitely important.
Thank you. Captain Shearer, would you answer that same question? People say it's not what you know, but who you know.
Yeah, you definitely want to surround yourself with the right types of people that are going to help you, push you, and continue to be a positive example in your life. And certainly, you know, going through college, that's your first, one of the opportunities to network. You know, the people that you meet in school are going to, you know, stick around and be those contacts, you know, upon graduation and throughout the rest of your professional life as well.
Great. Ms. Drake, what would you say to someone that would say, well, you're successful because you're lucky or just smart or beautiful? What would you say to someone who says that?
That's the only reason I'm successful.
People would say.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm happy to be here. I would say that there is a lot of reasons why you're successful. Number one, because you've decided what you wanted to do. Number two, you know how to focus. Number three, you work very, very hard. Number four, maybe someone that you know gave you an opportunity. They say success is when preparation meets opportunity. So luck may have a small percentage to do with it, but if I wasn't prepared, if I hadn't studied, if I, you know, didn't wake up and wasn't on time and didn't do the things I needed to do, luck would have nothing to do with it. So that's what I would say.
Mr. Henson, same question. You're just lucky.
I agree. I think you must prepare for your future. Good morning, Oaktown. How you guys doing? I think it's very, very important for you to prepare for your future. I think it's important for you to be creative in preparation of your future and have a concept about where you're going. It's called definite purpose, definite aim and purpose. Know where you're going and then involve yourself in the actions that help you get there. Don't worry or focus so much on luck, right? But apply yourself in action. Be active in action, and those opportunities that will come to you, be ready for them. And what we heard a few minutes ago was definitely be aware of leveraging your opportunities. Be aware of leveraging individuals. How many people have Instagram here? How many people have Instagram? By a raise of hands. That's great. How many of you have Instagram a company that you wanted to be involved with or work for? You ever think about that? Maybe a company that you wanted to work for, introduce yourself to them, right? Keep writing them until you get a response from that company. And then when you're ready and that opportunity presents itself, then you have leverage that works advantage-wise for you. So is that luck, or were you preparing to be open and ready for the opportunity when it came? See? So you have to be ready. So luck and preparation meeting itself is what you really want. Take advantage of that and create the opportunities to be aware. Remember, your talent is only going to get you so far. You have to have positive, working, communication, relationships, and skills. Be open, be ready to talk, be ready to answer questions, and be ready to ask questions.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Moore, what impact would you say that your background had on, the opportunities that you've had or not? Well, how would you answer that question?
Can I sort of go?
Let's use that one.
I'm going to first go back to a question that you asked, and then I'll cooperate and come back to what you asked me. But in terms of, it's not what you know, but who you know. As you're going through high school right now, you're building relationships. Some of your relationships with your teachers and administrators are not good. And for others of you, it's really good. Be careful how you go through high school, building those relationships and burning those bridges. Don't burn bridges. Do the best you can. Be the best you can, because it's those teachers and administrators who will be writing recommendations for you. So in that sense, it's who you know. You cannot wait until your senior year and decide to be a positive person with a positive attitude and try and be nice to teachers and administrators. Do this as you go along. You don't have to be, overly nice or anything like that. Just be yourself, but be a positive self. A positive self, because your teachers and administrators, they have access to internships and opportunities. And when those come across their desks, if you have a good relationship with them, if you've been doing well with your academics, it's going to be who you know. You're going to come to their mind, they know you. The fact that you have a background, a good academic background, a strong academic background, then you bring something to the table that once they open that door for you, you can not only walk through it, but you can stay there and you can move on to other opportunities. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to build positive relationships with your teachers and your administrators, because they will be opening doors for you in terms of scholarships and school access.
That's good. Okay. That was good. I like that right there. I'd like to ask another question if I could. This question is for the entire panel. Thinking about just the course, the whole arc of your experience, and we'll start with Ms. Drake. Did you ever have a mentor in your life, and what did they do for you, and how did you find them?
Yeah, I have had several mentors. I would say my biggest mentor is my mother, because not only is she a wife and a mom and a grandmom and she's a physician, but I saw her as a young child work herself, and put herself through medical school. So I just admired who she was and her values and, her strong sense of spirituality. So I would say to a lot of you young, people out there, when you look for a mentor, look for someone who's doing what you want to do, if not more. Look for someone who's inspiring you. Look for someone who you admire and you look up to. As I moved to Los Angeles, I've had the pleasure of having several mentors in the film and television business, who have ran shows, who have directed movies, and you would be surprised that they really love helping you. They love giving back. It is something that, I think a lot of people are scared to approach these people because they look like they're on a platform and they look like they're too busy. My mentor had two television shows on at the same time, but she would still take time to have lunch with me or talk to me or read my scripts, whatever I needed. So I would say, put your foot out there and ask. Tell them you want help. Say, hey, I love what you're doing. How can I get started? What classes should I take? What television show should I be writing? Or, what school should I be looking at, for education? And you'd be surprised how willingly they are to help you and guide you.
Thank you. Mr. Moore?
Yes, absolutely. All throughout my life, I've had a number of mentors, and there's this quote that I really like. An anonymous person once said, ask for help to stay strong, not because you're weak, right? So I think it's absolutely critical to always approach folks who know much more than you do, or who have just had a lot of experiences that you haven't had, right? So all throughout my life, even in college, right, I would look up, I would talk to the sophomores, juniors, seniors, get their advice on how to, navigate the college scene, or afterwards with my nonprofit. Again, just meeting with folks, other executive directors, funders, or whomever. Right now, in my current startup, I have some friends who've sold their companies for tens of millions of dollars, right? And also, I have some people who just raised a Series A. So it's not that they have to be like pie in the sky, crazy big, done all this stuff. It's just about the fact that they've had more experiences than you. You can learn from their experiences. There's another quote I'd like to leave you with. The ancient Chinese proverb goes, "A single conversation across the table from a wise man or woman is worth a month's study of books." Think about how much you can learn if you're reading books for an entire month. But a single conversation from a wise person can trump all of that knowledge. So I think it's absolutely critical to learn from others.
Thank you. Captain Shearer?
In the Marine Corps, I'm constantly surrounded by amazing individuals who've done lots of great things. And, I kind of latch on to those leaders that I've had that I want to aspire to be like. And maybe they've had the experience that I don't. And I don't believe we're meant to go through this life alone. So if I can gain experience and knowledge from them, then they're more than willing to share it, because maybe they've been there before. So I would definitely recommend looking for someone that you aspire to be like, and ask for that mentorship. Like I was mentioned before, is don't be afraid to get out there and ask, because most everyone that's successful has had a mentor themselves, so they're willing to give back and then help you out as well.
Thank you. Dr. Moore?
One of the mentors I had was a woman in our church, and I have a very strong spiritual base because that's the only way I can survive. And she was never a formal mentor, but I just watched her, which as the question was being answered, I was thinking a lot of times, it's not always what someone says to you, but it's how they carry themselves. And this good sister could sit on the bench when the little kids were acting up. She would lean down and say, "Pass me that switch." But on the other side, she can be just as loving and caring and enduring and strong as any person you would want to see. Another mentor I had was a professor when I was going through university, and there were not many black professors there. And I saw her in the hall one day. I didn't know what she taught or who she was, but I followed her like a stalker. And when she got to her class, I asked her, could I take her class? And it was in a different department, but she said, just get approval and you can take it. But it was the way she carried herself. It was how she conducted her classes, the things she did. That was a model for me, and it goes back to the book learning kind of thing. You can look in a book and you can read about strategies, but to actually watch someone and observe them, how they carry themselves, how they deal with adversity and good times. You can get a little bit arrogant when you get too high up there. So, those were two people for me.
Thank you. Mr. Henson?
Yes, I've had many mentors in my life, but subsequently, one of the things that I did was I created mentors, and I'll explain why. I'm from New York, the projects in the Bronx, and you didn't see a lot of people come through there or that was subsequently doing a great deal in society. And so early on, I realized that I would have to create mentors, and the way that I did that was through books. How many people have ever heard of the book called Think and Grow Rich, by a raise of hands? Okay, well, I offer you this opportunity to actually pick up that book now, because the book was written by a gentleman named Napoleon Hill. Now, the thing is, Napoleon Hill interviewed many wealthy people. And Andrew Carnegie was a person that he worked for. And Andrew Carnegie studied wealth. And what I thought was really interesting, Andrew Carnegie didn't go to college. How many people have heard of Carnegie Hall? Carnegie Hall in New York City? Well, that's Andrew Carnegie. So what I did was I read the book, and I allowed the book to be my mentor. I studied the progress of wealth. I studied the progress of absolute. I studied the progress of going the extra mile. Yes? So I allowed the book to be my mentor. If we didn't see anybody that in society that we could seek out as a mentor, then create a mentor by using books until you can actually meet someone that you want to mentor you, so you can be their mentee. It's very, very important to seek. Has anybody ever heard of the concept called knock and the door shall be open? Seek and ye shall, ask and ye shall. So you know what the science is. You have to seek it out first. People won't necessarily come to you. They will accept you once you go to them. But you must seek that knowledge out. And once you have the knowledge from your mentor, the most important thing to do is to activate it. And one of the things I want to say to you is this, and allow this to resonate in you. People have taught us knowledge is power. What I have learned for myself individually is knowledge is only potential power. Because once you get the knowledge, you have to use it in order for it to become powerful.
Very good. Okay, I want to ask one more question, and then I want to open it up to the audience. Does anybody in here have a question for our panel? I just want to kind of get an idea. I got 1, 2. Any in the back? Anybody have a question for our panel, just in case, so we can get the mic runners ready? All right, so, Ms. Drake, if there's, oh, I know, we have the questions. I just want to get them first, because I'm going to ask the final question to the panel. What's the most important thing you want this audience to know before you leave today?
The most important thing I want you guys to leave with today is, first of all, you can do anything that you want to do, okay? Don't listen to anyone tell you that you can't. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be handed to you. It may come differently than how you envisioned it, but if you stay the course and if you do the work, you will succeed. So I want you all to know that. The second thing is I want you to know that you can do what you love. And that is so important, because once you pick a career or a job, you're going to be doing that for the rest of your life. So wouldn't you rather wake up in the morning and be excited to go to work than dreading to go to work? When I work, I'm so excited I can't sleep at night because I love what I do. And I've had so many people tell me, you're the luckiest girl in the world because you get to do what you love. Now, it's not easy. I get told no 1,000 times. But the fact that I love what I do, that no hurts less than if I really hated what I did. So do what you love, stay the course, focus on the work, and you will succeed.
Thank you. Mr. Moore?
Yeah, I'd say the most critical thing you can have is hunger. And I say that because hunger is that desire to get what you need, right? The desire stems from the lack of something, right? You're like, I need something more than what I have. And so the hunger can power you through anything that you want. I mean, there's this guy, give you a quick story. There's this guy at our startup, right? He went to prison, got released, ended up getting a college degree, right? So graduated from St. Mary's College, and met my co-founder at the gym, right? And so this guy, Sean, he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And so Jason told him what we're doing, and he's like, "Man, that sounds powerful. I want to work with you, right?" And so he kept telling Jason, "I want to work with you. I want to work with you. Just give me a chance. I'll work for free. I'll intern. Like, I don't care. I just want an opportunity, right?" And so after several months, this wasn't after a day. After about 6 months, he actually he started interning with us. But this guy, he wakes up. He
he lives, breathes, mind-blown labs. Like financial education, that's all he talks about. He talks about it so much that anybody who talks to him is like, man, I want to use that in my school. You know, they're like, hey, you guys need money, that kind of thing. And it's just that hunger, right? It's that desire to say, like, hey, man, I don't care what I need to do, I'm going to get it done. So yeah, if you guys have that hunger, you'll be able to do anything.
Thank you. Captain Shear?
I would say if there's one thing that I could impress on you is to not be afraid to take that first step. Don't be afraid to fill out those college applications. Don't be afraid to go to officer candidate school to become a Marine. It can seem intimidating in the beginning. Once you start, getting over those hurdles, things start to become easier, and you can say, hey, I can do this, I've done this, and I can continue to go forth and keep challenging more, tackle other hurdles and things. So just don't be afraid to take that first step. It might seem a little intimidating in the beginning, but you've got you've got it in you to do it. So just don't be afraid.
Thank you. Dr. Moore, and before you answer the question, Dr. Moore, can the people that have questions, there's a mic right here and a mic right there. So right after Mr. Hinston finishes, we're going to take the questions. So if you could move to the mics now. All right, Dr. Moore.
There is an African proverb that I really like, and it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. Now think about that oftentimes. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. And so my message would be, stop making your mom and dad and uncles and aunties nag at you about stuff you know you need to do. Okay? Stop making them do that and make them your allies, so together you can be strong and you can go far in life and you can soar like the angels.
Thank you. Mr. Henson?
When it comes to mind, what to say to you right now that you'll be able to use for the rest of your life is this. Starting over does not mean failure. Starting over does not mean failure. Change is inevitable. It's okay to start over. If you start something and you say, this isn't what I want to do, I want to do this, then just do it. It's really important that you feel good about what you're doing. That will help you to be successful. You have to feel good. If you're doing something that you don't enjoy, chances are you won't be successful at it. Feel good about it. That's when you know it's good. There's a concept that I believe in. When something is good for me, good for you, and the greater good, then it's good. The other thing is, it's really important that you start this now. Clean up your profiles.
Did you hear what he said?
Clean up your profiles.
Social media profiles.
Social media is your virtual fingerprint. When you go to fill out applications, they're going to find your Facebook page. Actually, they're asking you for your Facebook page, your Twitter page, and your Instagram page. If you are on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, understand this is a part of your job application. Believe it or not, this is the way of the world. It is happening now. If you are on your profile page and you're like this, right? That's not gonna work for you. If you're on your profile page and you're using phonetics as a means of communication and not spelling out the words properly, that is going to be a part of your description of who you really are in society. If your pants are sagging, if you have picks or combs in your hair, if your cleavage is showing, that is all going to be a part of your fingerprint and your profile when you go to fill out these job applications. You have to use your virtual fingerprint to assist you in getting into the position you want. Do not be lazy. Do not procrastinate in cleaning up your pages. Start focusing right now to where you want to be in 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 years, where you want to be. Start thinking about that right now and start applying the pressure on yourself to get there now. Because you can. You can, and you will if you assist yourself now. Can we get at least 5 to 6 more people on the line asking the panel questions? Be proactive for yourself today. Give us at least 5 more people. Utilize your power. Be empowered today by asking questions now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henson. Okay, we'll start with this young lady over here, and then we'll move to this microphone over here. Okay, go ahead. Say your name first.
My name is Emerald. When you guys have an idea or you want to do something, how do you get over the fear of maybe I can't do this, or maybe I'll fail, or what if I'm not good enough?
Who wants to answer that question?
Can I do it briefly, real
Briefly,
quick?
30
And then the
seconds
rest of
or
the
less,
panel?
Mr. Henson.
Very, very simply, if you want to be successful in life, focus on the positive. Focusing on negative will never get you where you want to be. Complaining will never get you where you want to be. Focusing going backwards will never be. Think about this. If you're driving a car, but you're looking backwards, are you going to crash?
Yes.
Exactly. Always look forward.
Thank you. Anybody else? Want to answer? Okay. This young lady's been very patient. Start with your name. Okay. Is it on? Mike? Hold on just a sec. Technical difficulties? The mic? No, I don't hear anything. Why don't you just come up here and use my mic?
Good morning. My name is Erika. I'm a Laney College graduate as of May.
Congratulations.
I'm about to start my nuclear medicine program. 42 years young. And I wanted to say thank you, first of all, because I'm feeling a moment of doubt as I'm about to start my degree, that voice that says, but what if you can't? But what if you're an imposter? Other than continuing to look forward, what are the resources that you use to diffuse that voice that says that you may not really belong?
Okay. Who wants to? Dr. Moore?
Yeah. I think as a culture, we have been so beaten down, and we've been told that we're not good enough, we're not this enough, we're not that enough, that gets embedded in us. And whatever we begin to think we can do, we want to do, we get excited about doing, that old tape starts playing in our heads. You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? You don't belong here. And sometimes you just have to stand firm and you say, you know what? Whatever I think I want to do and wherever I am is right where God wants me to be. And you have to stand firm in that. And you have to sort of encourage yourself, like with the empowerment tour here, you have so many allies and there's so much excitement. And then when you get out and on Monday morning, when those doubts start creeping in, oh, I'm too dark, I'm too light, I'm too fat, I'm too stupid, I'm too, and you fill in the blank. Don't let that overpower you for what you want to do and what you know that you're all about. Don't let those old tapes play in your head, what they've done to the cultures of color, and tell us that we're not good enough to be in universities and we're not good enough to sit on corporate boards. Okay. You tell yourself, I'm good enough and I'm on my way. And if you're not going to help me, get out of my way.
Thank you.
Also, I was watching this very interesting documentary about 2 weeks ago, Kobe Bryant. And, you know, Kobe came into the league and he won 3 championships right away. Then he had all this turmoil. He almost lost his family. Him and Shaq fell apart. He was at the bottom. And he talked about how he felt scared, how he was fearful. And he talked about how you can take that anger and how you can take that fear and you can make that work as fuel to push you to another level. Like, everyone on this panel has been afraid at some, point in their life. That's normal. So you need to look fear in the face and you need to say, listen, you're not gonna win. Take that fear and put it under your feet and let it raise you to a different level. Don't feel like you're the only one thinking that way. So I would say use it because it can motivate you like no other.
Okay, I'm gonna come here and then I'm gonna come to you.
Good morning. My name is Mohammed. I just wanted to know what would be your definition of success.
Okay, 30 seconds or less, panelists. Who wants to take it?
For me, success is continually striving to do better, to reach the next level. If I'm stagnant, I don't feel I'm successful. So for me, it's always finding something new to learn. If it's I've completed my degree, but if I'm going after my master's, for me that's success. It's just continually looking for the next thing. The Marine Corps has continuously provided me the opportunities to do that, and which is part of what I love about what I do. There's continuous opportunities to just reach the next level and to strive for the next step.
Thank you.
My definition of success is doing something that I want to do on a consistent basis. I believe that the mom who wants to be a mom, and she's the greatest mom that she can be, is successful. The person who wants to own a store and goes to work and opens his store every day is successful. The person that wants to be a student who's studying and asking more of him or herself than anybody could ever ask is successful. You define success, but for me, success is doing what a person wants to do, what they desire to do on a consistent basis.
Thank you. Young man?
Hi, my name is Hamad. I'm a senior from Berkeley High School. I'm here with the Y Scholars program. And I was just curious if you guys could share like maybe an obstacle you had during your career path or a challenge or a moment of failure and how you overcame that, how you dealt with the emotions, how you dealt with the practical aspect of that, and if you'd be willing to share that.
Ms. Drake?
It was, I don't know, maybe I was like 20, 21 years old, and I had decided I wanted to be an actor. And my uncle told me that basically I was a dreamer, I was losing my mind, I would never be successful, I would never have health insurance, all these things. And I just broke down crying because, you know, me and my uncle were very, very close. So I turned to my mother, who is my mentor, was and still is, and she looked me in the eye and she said, listen, is that what you love? Is that what you want to do? And I said, yes. She said, well, don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the journey. Just focus on the work, do what you love, and success would come. So I trusted her, I listened to her, and she was right. So that's how I overcame someone that I loved and looked up to, my uncle, doubting me and instilling his fears in me. So that's why I told you guys, never let anybody tell you you can't do nothing. I don't care if it's a family member, your best friend, whoever it is, your story is your story. And if it's your destiny, it will happen. If that desire is in your heart, that is what you're meant to do. So that was my personal journey of overcoming something. And I'm so glad and thankful that I had my mom to, you know, say that to me, because at that time I was so vulnerable and my mind wasn't completely formed yet. I didn't know. I kind of believed him. So that's my story.
That's good. Thank you. Mr. Moore?
Yeah, sure. Early stage startup, a lot of obstacles, right? About a year ago, we had less than a month's runway in the bank, right? So we knew, Jason and I were like, we looked at each other and said, hey, we've gotten really, really far so far, right? The issue of financial illiteracy is not being solved, right? So what are we going to do? We have less than a month. We have a team of 8. If we don't make payroll, the company folds, right? So what we did was we essentially tripled down, went out even harder, longer nights, thought about the alternative, right? The alternative wasn't pretty, right? So we just went after it, closed some deals, got those checks in the bank, about 3 days to spare, and then right after that we went out and raised $250,000. So it's really you just have to have like such an insatiable desire to do really, really well that these obstacles they're molehills, right? So you just got to go after it.
Thank you. Okay, we have 2 questions here. They'll be our final questions, and they've been so patient, so we want to give them a chance. Say your name and ask your question.
Hello, I'm Terrell Sanders, and I'm from YU, and I wanted to ask, how do you focus on progress when you come from the struggle, you made the wrong choices, and the police put bad things on your name to make it hard for you to get a good opportunity?
That's a good question.
I love that question. He asked, what should you do when something basically happened to him or someone he knew involving the police and someone said something. So here we go with the hearsay. And he started to feel bad about it. How should he live the rest of his life if someone said something like the police in society, and how should he move forward? Well, this is again, along what I said, if you look back, you're gonna crash. You have to look towards your future. Number one, you have to know who you are and what you represent. This is something that's very important. There are two things that everyone in this room should do, and it starts with the rest of the day. And I really want you to do this. It's two sides of a paper, yes? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay, two sides of the paper. What and why? I want you to write down what you want to be and what you want to do in life. This is how you truly can obtain empowerment. You write it down, what you want to do in life, and then turn that paper around and write why. Once you see what it is that you want to do, and when you write the why down, that's when you truly get power, because it's in the why. How many people want to be able to support themselves in life? How many? How many people not want to just survive, but they want to thrive in life? How many people want to be able to own a house in life? A car? How many people want to be able to go to the places on their vacations that they want to go and who they want to go with? So that means everybody in this room wants to obtain a level of success, wants to go on a journey, and wants to see themselves go from point A to point B in life. We all just agreed upon that. Well, looking backwards is not going to get you there. You have to focus on saying yes. President Obama, his slogan was, "Yes, we can." And guess what? Yes, we did. Does that make sense? You can applaud for that. Yes, we did, because we focused on the future, not with what happened from the presidents behind him. The future. What you want, and on the other side, why you want it. What and why.
Very good. Thank you. All right, our last question.
Could I please, I just wanted to be sure that I didn't hear all of your question. Could you say it a little bit louder?
He has it on his phone.
I said, how do you focus on progress when you coming from the struggle, you made the wrong choices, and the police put bad things on your name to make it hard for you to get a good opportunity?
Okay. Again, as a culture of color, we know what's going on with the police department. If you've had an incident with the police, first thing you need to do is make sure that that record is expunged. You need to make sure that it's expunged, which means it'll be erased. And you get that in writing, okay? You get it in writing. I was arrested by police, charged with a felony. The person who arrested me was an ex-student. I'm up there getting my photo taken. They put me on a phone book because I was too short to, deal with the camera and everything. The police will mess with you. It's a given. But what you have to do, you have to work to get that record expunged, so that when you make out applications, it asks you, have you ever been arrested and this kind of thing, you can put down no. Are you working, or whoever the question is related to, you work to get that record expunged. Otherwise, it will stay with you for the rest of your life. It will hinder you in terms of jobs, in terms of college applications. Get the record expunged.
Thank you.
And then you sue them.
Okay, thank you. Our last question. Thank you, young man.
Good morning. My name's Nicole. I'm 24, and this fall I'll be transferring to a four-year college. So I just wanted to know.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just wanted to know, when you guys went to school, to a four-year university, what were some of the things that helped you get adjusted to being away from family, being around new people, living in dorms, things like that?
Captain Shearer?
So I grew up in Arizona. I went to college in Indiana, so about the complete opposite of what I was exposed to. And in Arizona, I was away from my entire family, knew no one. I went home for Easter, went back to school, and it snowed. It was after Easter, and I thought, what did I get myself into? I wasn't around family, wasn't there for family dinners and nothing, so I was ready to go back. What I found was I needed to stay busy. I needed to surround myself with good people and good friends, and I just dove into learning everything that I could, being exposed to everything that I could, joined a sports team, and just joined every activity that I could just to kind of take my mind off of, maybe being a little homesick or being thrown into something that was completely different than I was used to. So I would just suggest being involved in anything that you can to set yourself up for success.
Thank you. Denise?
All right, I get the last question since we are the sponsor. No, so my last question is to the whole panel, if possible, very quickly. Give these students one tip about money management. When you were in college and you saw all this stuff that you wanted to buy, give one tip down the panel about money management.
One brief tip.
One brief tip.
Stay away from a lot of credit cards because you have to pay that money back.
Mr. Moore?
Yeah. Track your spending. So make sure you're consistently looking at where you have spent your money, and then obviously you'll sort of adjust accordingly.
All right, Captain Shearer?
Sure, a credit card is not necessarily a bad thing. It helps build your credit, but make sure that you've got the cash to back it up. Just pay it off as soon as you buy things. Don't start your life out in debt. Just pay it off as you go.
Dr. Moore?
I go along with pay it off as you go. If you can't afford it, don't buy it because that $10 pizza will wind up costing you $25, $30 in interest.
Okay. Mr. Henson?
Just really quickly, I learned a process about money. If you just spend money on things that you want, then chances are you're not taking care of your responsibilities. And I still do this today. Years ago, I was taught to break money down. In other words, if I get $100, I take $10 and I put it in a financial savings. Then I take another $10, I put it in an investment. Then I take another $10 and I put it in what I call my play fund. I take $55 and I put it in my responsibility fund. And I take $5 of that and I give it to the church or give it to someone homeless or give it to someone. So literally I break it down in ways where everything is taken care of. My responsibilities, my play, my investment, my education. That way, everything is always taken care of with every dollar I get.
Very good. I want to thank all of you for your attention and your time. I want to thank our panelists. Can we give them another round of applause? Take time out to spend with us today.